Welcome to the first episode of Season 2 here in the Cork City FC 26 career mode. In this series, we took my local team from the League of Ireland, we've brought them over to England's League 2, and at the very first attempt, not only did we get automatic promotion, but we ended up winning League 2 itself. The Rebel takeover has gotten off to a fantastic start. But let's be honest, it wasn't the most straightforward season. We lost far too many games at Turner's Cross. We didn't actually secure the title until the very last game. And really we secured it because MK Dons dropped too many points. Let's be honest about that. But regardless, I am very happy that we have gained promotion at the first time of asking. And here we are now in EFL League 1. And even when I look at some of the teams in this division, you can already tell it is not going to be a straightforward campaign here for us. Not to say that League 2 was straightforward for us, but I can tell you something, lads. This squad might have won League 2, but we definitely would not win League 1 with this squad. I can tell you that now. There's some very good players in here who I'm definitely very happy to have in the team, but we do need to get some improvement into this squad, in both the starting 11 and also on the bench. And of course, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this series, the transfer policy updates every time we enter a new division. So as long as we were in League 2, we were only allowed to sign players from the League of Ireland, no matter what their nationality was. And now that we're in League 1, we can still sign players from the League of Ireland, but we are now also able to sign Irish players who play in other divisions. So without further ado, allow me to show you what my transfer plans are here in this summer transfer window of Season 2. So I have 3 players up for sale and also 3 players on the loan list as well, but let's talk about the ones we're looking to move on permanently first. Rory Keating, Fikra Kelleher and Ben Doherty. Now don't get me wrong, they all contributed to our success in Season 1, but I just feel like in League 1, they're not going to get minutes. That's the reality of it. I love Rory Keating. In an ideal world, I would have loved to have kept him. But I think for the striker position, Taggart is going to be the backup. I'm going to look to bring in a higher rated striker who's a little bit older, but not quite as old as 30, to play ahead of Taggart. And I didn't want Keating rotting away in the reserves, so instead I will move him on. To steal a quote from Jared HD, don't get butthurt if I sell your favourite players. And I'm telling that to myself, lads, because Keating is one of my favourite players for Cork City in real life. As is Fikra Kelleher. The problem with Fikra Kelleher, lads, is he's just too bloody slow. I could get over him being 58 rated. I could get over the fact that he's 30 years old if he wasn't so bloody slow. So for that reason, I will be looking to move him on and to bring in probably 2 new centre-backs, to be honest with you. I think we'll need 2 new players in that position. And then with Ben Doherty, we got him in the January transfer window last season. He was pretty decent, but again, League 1, I feel like if he was a bit younger, I probably would keep him, but 61 rated at 29 years old, I feel like it probably is time to cash in on him. And the 3 loan listed players are Brodie Lee, Rory Lynch and Paul McCartney. What a bloody name, by the way. Honestly, his potential is actually quite shocking, but simply for his name, I just felt like I had to call him up. But look, they're 3 young players. As I say, apart from Paul McCartney, they all have quite decent potential. Brodie Lee has just returned from a loan deal with Cambridge United. He did grow a little bit on that loan spell, but not as much as I would have liked, so we'll send him out on loan again, and hopefully we'll get some decent growth for all 3 of these players. And as you can see here, lads, we have quite a lot of players on the shortlist. Now, some of them obviously we won't be able to sign right now, but I did want to shortlist as many players as I could, all Irish and Northern Irish or League of Ireland players who are from other countries as well. The only annoying thing is I thought we would have been able to go in for championship players this season, but as you can see here, if I go into Rory McConville, for example, looks like this player is unwilling to relocate at this time. And then if we go into another championship player, we get the same message, so that's kind of annoying. But listen, there's still quite a few decent players we can go for, and I'm just really glad that we have a lot more options than we did last season. It's great to sign players from the League of Ireland, but now that we can also sign Irish players from other leagues, it does mean that we have much broader horizons. And I did mention in the last episode that something I was very excited about with this new transfer policy is that now we will be able to sign free agents. And these are the 3 best free agents I could find who are from either Ireland or Northern Ireland. We have 66 rated CDM Brendan Lynch, 67 rated Danny McNamara, the real life Millwall player, and 67 rated centre back Damien McCarthy. And you know what, lads? I am going to go in for all 3 of these players. I know I said I wouldn't go overboard with the free agents, but we have 3 quality players here. And you know what? As I said, we weren't able to sign free agents last season. So think of this as a reward for us not only getting promoted in Season 1, but also winning League 2. So as I said, I'm going to go in and sign all 3 of these players. And just like that, we have brought all 3 of those players into the club. Welcome to Cork City, Danny McNamara, Damien McCarthy and Brendan Lynch. And they all immediately go right into the starting 11, which is already looking a hell of a lot stronger, especially here in the defence. McNamara there and McCarthy both coming in at a 67 rating, as I mentioned earlier. I'm really trying not to make a 6-7 joke, but it's really, really tempting. But I'll let it slide. Feel free to make them in the comments, but I can't. I have to have a little bit of self-respect here, so I'm just going to move on here. But actually, I've just thought about something here as well. McNamara is right-footed. He's only got 2-star weak foot. Dylan Turl has 5-star weak foot, and you know what? We have christened him the Dennis Irwin regen, so let's put him over at left back, and McNamara's actually going to come in to play at right back, so that should be quite interesting to see how Dylan Turl gets on in the left-hand side of the defence. As I say, McCarthy there as well alongside Murray, but Murray is going to be the backup centre-back in this career mode. He has a lot of good potential, I do like him, but that 55 pace I cannot be dealing with in every game this season. I really, really can't. I mean, McCarthy's not the quickest player in the world at 65 pace, but that is somewhat manageable, so if I can get somebody alongside him around the same pace or a little bit higher, I'd be quite happy with that. So Murray will be on the bench, but he will be an important player for us. Don't you worry about that. We've got Lynch and McManus here alongside each other in the midfield. McManus has been given the captain's armband here as well, now that Fikr Kelleher has come out of the team. And you know what? I don't hate that. Listen, we are trying to create the next Roy Keane in this series. Ideally, I wouldn't have somebody from Dublin being the next Roy Keane, but look, he's playing for Cork City, so I'll allow it. But yeah, he will be the captain for us here in League 1. And him and Lynch look like they could be quite a deadly duo. So here's what I'm thinking for the rest of this transfer window, lads. So in terms of the starting 11, the 2 main areas of the pitch that I really want to improve are centre-back, which I mentioned earlier, and also the striker position. So Taggart did really, really well for us last season after coming up from the youth academy. But now that we're in League 1, I think we could do with somebody a little bit more experienced and a bit higher rated to lead that line. Now, don't get me wrong, Taggart will still be a very important player for us this season as he continues to develop, but I think he's better off this season being an impact player off the bench. Another area of the pitch I'll be looking to improve on is both the right-hand side and left-hand side of the attack. Don't get me wrong, Allen and Fitzpatrick are both players that I'm very, very happy with. But on the right-hand side, we have Brodie Lee going out on loan again this season. Max, who we had on loan last season from Shamrock Rovers, I wasn't able to get him on loan again. I was hoping Shamrock Rovers might be tempted to loan him out again for another 6 months, if not another season. But they, unfortunately, were not willing to do the deal there, so I will be looking to bring in another option on that right hand side. I'm not sure if I want Fitzpatrick to start though on the left hand side. I think he can be a very good player, but something tells me he might be a little bit better as a backup, so I'm slightly tempted to maybe cash in on Murray, who I wasn't the biggest fan of, to be honest with you, in Season 1, and maybe bring in somebody a little bit higher rated than Fitzpatrick and have him drop to the bench. And then in between the sticks, of course, Conor Brann is still going to be our number 1 here in League 1. But honestly, if anything was to happen to him, I don't think I'd feel very confident with 53 rated Trowley as the only backup option. So I will be looking to bring in another backup shot stopper. So we've advanced quite a bit into this transfer window, and as you can see, we've had quite a bit of business go through. Rory Keating has left the club to join Walsall, who also got promoted alongside of us in League Two. He has joined them for €260,000. Rory Lynch and Brodie Lee both going out on loan. Paul McCartney also going out on loan. We've had Matthew Murray go to Oldham for $370,000, so he'll be going back down to League Two. Ben Trowley has gone to Doncaster for €120,000. So we've actually managed to move on all of the players that we had either transfer listed or shortlisted. Now, you might think that there's one player missing there in Ben Doherty. We actually have moved him on as well, but we did include him in a swap deal. Oh, and Fikra Kelleher has left as well. I knew there was somebody I was forgetting about. Fikra Kelleher has also left the club to join Bromley for €130,000. But something I haven't forgotten about is the new centre-back we've brought in to partner Damien McCarthy, Jubril Okadinya. We have signed the 63 rated centre-back from Bohemians for €210,000 plus Doherty. So we've actually gotten a very, very good deal for what looks like a very, very decent player. In terms of a winger, we have brought in a new player on the right-hand side here in Sean Moore. We've signed the 20-year-old from Shelburne for €340,000. We've done really well in this transfer window to sign players for either under their value or very, very close to their market value, which I'm very, very happy with. He wasn't the only player that we signed from Shelburne. Our new backup goalkeeper will be Lorcan Healy, who we also signed from the Dublin team for €140,000. So if anything happened to Conor Brann, I'd be a little bit more confident with this man in between the sticks as I would have been if Trowley had been in between the sticks. So I'm very happy with this signing as well. But we have just made a massive signing here, lads. We have splashed the cash on a brand new striker, 26-year-old Aaron Connolly, the former Brighton striker. I remember when he burst onto the scene a few years ago. I really thought he was going to be the next great Irish striker. It hasn't really worked out that way, but I still think he's a very, very good player. And I think at this stage of the career mode, he could be an absolutely fantastic player for us. Welcome to Cork City, Aaron Connolly. And the final signing that we've made is actually a loan signing. Harry Vaughan from Hull City has agreed to join us for the next 2 seasons. Now, after signing Aaron Connolly, we didn't have an awful lot left in the budget, and all of the left wingers who I wanted to bring in, unfortunately, we didn't have the financial means to do so. And Harry Vaughan, I wasn't actually able to sign on a permanent deal, but he was the only player willing to join us on loan. But he's 65 rated. I think that will go up as well when we do convert him over to a left winger. He can play as a number 10 as well. So you know what? In terms of a loan signing, he ain't too shabby. And already, lads, this team is looking a hell of a lot stronger. We have our first 70 rated player there in Aaron Connolly up front. And you know what? I think there's no better mentor for young Andrew Taggart than Aaron Connolly ahead of him. As I mentioned earlier, he was expected to go on and be the next great Irish striker. It hasn't exactly worked out like that for him. He's had a respectable career, don't get me wrong, but I do think he could be the perfect man to keep Andrew Taggart on the straight and narrow. We've got very good cover in each area as well. The squad depth is definitely a lot stronger than it was last season. And you know what, lads? I look at this team and I really do think it can compete here in League One. But now it's time to kick off our League One campaign here away from home against Stevenage. Our first 2 games of the season are actually both away from home, so it should be interesting to see if we can keep that great away form from last season into this one. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. We did really, really well in League 2, better than expected. Let's see now if we can do the very same thing here in England's 3rd division. Here's Dylan Turl now in his new position of left back. Should be very interesting to see how he gets on there. I've also given him the number 3 to reflect that. And I tell you what, that cross actually did test the keeper. Marshall did look under a little bit of pressure there. But I tell you what as well, lads, in this opening 7 minutes, I can already feel a massive, massive difference with our team. It definitely feels a bit quicker. I think the quality will shine through as well this season, although we do have our first bit of defending to do here. but I'm already feeling a big difference in our style of play here. Oh my goodness me, Conor Brann with his first save of the season. So at the time of recording, I haven't yet released the poll for Player of the Season for Season 1, but I can already guarantee that Conor Brann won it. If he didn't win it, there's something wrong, and he's already called into action there. But it's good to see that his form seems to be continuing into this season. Here's Harry Vaughan now, our one and only loan signing, into Aaron Connolly. Come on, lad, on your debut. It's always great for a striker to get off the mark as soon as possible. And that is exactly what Aaron Connolly has done with a beautiful strike there. And he gets our first goal here in League One. We did use him in an Oxford United series back in the day, and as good as he was in that, he was mainly a backup player, so I'm really excited to have him as the main man leading the line here. And I tell you what, if he keeps providing finishes like that, then I think this signing could go down as the signing of the series so far. Oh, good interception there by McNamara. Doing really well there at right back, and then he gives it away right as I was praising him. It's a decent ball in. It had the keeper beat, but thankfully the post beat as well. I was just about to praise McNamara and say as a defensive presence, he feels very strong there at right back, but then he ended up giving it away, but thankfully it hasn't led to an equaliser. Here we are on the attack now again with Cathal O'Sullivan, and I have a bit of an interesting thing to talk about with Cathal O'Sullivan after this game. In real life, he's actually made the move away from Cork City, although he was already out of contract with them. But we'll talk a bit more about that at the end here. Here's Dylan Turl, I should say, who has definitely felt a lot more present at left back than he did at right back. So hopefully he'll get into more positions like that as this season progresses. But here comes Stevenage now again. I keep calling him Joe Turl. Dylan Turl having to run back there. Bloody hell. Oh, here comes Phillips though. Oh, bloody hell, he did really well to hold off McCarthy there. Now Campbell. Oh, brilliant there by Dylan Turl. Finally getting his name right this time. He looks to go on the break here, on the counter-attack, I should say. Go on, playing Vaughan. That's a good pass. Harry Vaughan, have a go, lad. Why not? Harry Vaughan! Oh, I tell you what, not the worst effort, but just put it over the bar as if he was playing Gaelic football. We did manage to hold on to our lead as well in that first half. Here's Vaughan now on the attack early in the second half. Can he get a goal on his debut? Good interception there. Stevenage deal with it. But we'd already be going one better than last season if we are to win here, because we did lose the opening game of League 2 by 1-0 to Notts County. And honestly, after that game, even though we lost, it did give me the faith that we could compete in League 2. I didn't expect to get promoted, but I definitely could have seen us competing because of how well we played. We were really unlucky not to get anything from that game. Oh, as Conor Brann makes yet another brilliant save. He's only 63 rated, but honestly, he feels like an 83 rated goalkeeper. He really, really does. Now, I know he's not coming up against the best quality, I should say, but still, the saves he has made have been absolutely fantastic. They really have. I said it last season, I think he's the main reason we got promoted in League 2. I really, really do. So, I feel like that could be the same here in League 1. Oh, it's Phillips, and another brilliant save by Conor Brann. Honestly, you're probably all sick of hearing me say it. There have genuinely been games where I haven't included certain saves, easy for me to say, because I just felt like I was repeating myself so much. But honestly, he is just such a quality player. If you're doing any sort of road to glory this season, lads, with any team, I would strongly consider signing Conor Brann. I really, really would. And here we are now on the attack for what feels like the first time in forever. Joe Turl over to Cathal O'Sullivan. Here's McManus. I'm going to have a go with Dylan Turl. I keep saying Joe Turl. Oh my goodness me, it nearly went in as well. Decent effort there, but he already feels so much better on that left-hand side of the defence. He really, really does. I am going to make a couple of changes though. Gilchrist is going to come on for Lynch. Fitzpatrick is going to come on for O'Sullivan. And we're going to bring on Moore to make his debut there on the right-hand side as he replaces Matthew Allen. Here's Gilchrist. Over to McManus. Now into Vaughan, who's had a really, really promising debut. But of course, every time I praise a player, they end up doing something bad. I constantly jinx them. Okay, let's use the reverse psychology. McCarthy's shit. Okay, never mind. He still didn't win the tackle. But here comes Stevenage now on the attack. There's a bit of a gap there, but who else there to save it but Conor Brann? I mean, of course it's going to be him. He's the only goalkeeper on the pitch for Cork City. I'm over-explaining this. Basically what I'm saying is another magnificent save But I tell you what, Stevenage have looked the more likely to score here in this second half. So let's hope we can keep them out here for the last few minutes. Brand does make the save there, but it was fairly straightforward for him. I won't give too much praise for that. But here's Fitzpatrick now, playing in Aaron Connolly. He's already got one goal here on his debut. Can he get the clinching goal here? Yes, he can. In stoppage time, a brace for the former Brighton man here on his Cork City debut. And that will seal all 3 points here in our very first League One game. Get in there. A brilliant start to the season, and hopefully long may that form last. But here is an interesting situation that we find ourselves in here with young Cathal O'Sullivan, who has been absolutely brilliant for us in this series so far. So I am recording this on Friday the 6th of March. And as I was recording this, I saw something pop up on my phone from yesterday, which says Cathal O'Sullivan signs for Preston North End. So the official statement from Cork City is that Cork City FC can confirm that Cathal O'Sullivan has joined English Championship side Preston North End. O'Sullivan joined City from Leeside in January 2020 and went on to make over 50 appearances, scoring 7 times. The club can confirm that an agreement has been reached with Preston North End in line with the FIFA training compensation regulations, blah 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 blah. Then they go on to say the club can, all of the club would like to thank Cathal for his contribution to the club and wish him every success in the future, which is a lovely message there from Cork City. But yes, Cathal O'Sullivan has joined Preston North End. Now, he was already out of contract with Cork City, and I do remember mentioning that in the preview episode of this series, but I did opt to keep Cathal O'Sullivan at that time. Now, in my series, as a lot of you will know, I don't always tend to go for hyper-realism. Sometimes I just feel like that can make a save kinda boring. I like to mix elements of realism with elements of having fun as well, because at the end of the day, we're in a universe where we've put Cork City into England's League 2 and now obviously League 1, so it's already unrealistic in that aspect. But sometimes it's nice to blend in a little bit of realism. So, Cathal O'Sullivan, as you can see here, 19 years old, 63 rated, a very, very good first campaign for us last season, and he is worth a pretty penny for us, 1.5 million, which wouldn't be a lot if we were with a Premier League team or any massive team in a massive league. But down here in League 1, we could make a decent chunk of change and significantly improve our transfer budget if we were to let him go. So, here are the 3 options I'm going to give you all to vote on. The first option is that we keep Cathal O'Sullivan, we block offers because he is committed to playing for his local club. The second option is that we put Cathal O'Sullivan on the transfer list and we just accept the best possible offer that we get. Or the third option, we put Cathal O'Sullivan on the transfer list and we only accept an offer if it comes in from Preston North End. So 3 interesting options there. I'd be very intrigued to see what you all have to say about it. So keep an eye on the community or post tab. I can't remember what they actually call it now on YouTube, but keep an eye over on that part of the channel for that poll, which will be going up right after this episode. But that will do it for the first episode of Season 2 here in the Cork City Road to Glory career mode. And what a successful start we got off to. If you did enjoy this episode, lads, then please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel as well, lads. We are on the road to 900 subscribers. And I will talk to you all on Wednesday for the next episode of the Cork City career mode. Take care.